Hi everyone, welcome to our lesson 4, Cultural Variations and Social Differences in Exceptionality or Non-Exceptionality. So in the previous lessons, we've discussed about social and cultural differences of members in the society in relation to what? Gender, katong socioeconomic class, and ethnicity and religion. So still, there are other factors that constitute social and political differences among people. In this chapter, we will tackle one which is not commonly known by many, the exceptionality and non-exceptionality. So, starting out, the image yourself preparing for school, fixing yourself, making some breakfast and snacks. You walk or ride in a vehicle in order to get to your school. Tapos, you arrive on time and the usual school day starts. Now, imagine doing all this if you were blind. Diba? How will you cope? How will you manage doing all activities without your sense of sight? It is easy ba or difficult siya? So that's what we called exceptionalities and non-exceptionalities. So kung ikaw, imong usually task, ingon ana, so imagine mo na siya, you have to put your shoes to other shoes, like itong blind people, kung dali ba sa ilaha, kung ginaunsa nila pag-survive every day, working, so ingon ana siya. So, after doing the activity, answer the reflection. So, unsa man, how do you determine who consider disabled? How does the disability affects one's life? How are ways to cope with such conditions? So, yan ana siya itong mga pangutana. So, if you can observe your surroundings, you can probably recognize some people who are affected with some disability, which can either be physical or mental. These disabilities are considered one part of exceptionality and non-exceptionality. So disability, exceptionality, and not exceptionality. We will define that. Blindness, as mentioned in the situation above, is one of the many possible disabilities can be acquired by humans. So when we say disability, this is a term that refers to a condition wherein the loss of physical functioning, pasabot wala siya ana, hearing, and vision. So kung wala ka ana, loss of physical functioning, that is the term na mogamit ta og disability. Kuha? Or impairments in intellectual, social, and mental processes that hinder normal growth and development of an individual. So, diha po ta pwede mo gamit og term na disability. So, it can be seen in the activity above a sudden loss of vision would probably impairs one's ability to perform necessary functions for development. So, for example, blindness could impede one's ability to read. So, di siya kabalo mabasa gamit ang vision, ang eye, which will have a negative effect to an individual's intellectual development. So, the term exceptionality is more encompassing than what? Disability. When we say exceptionality, it is the concept that describes how an individual's or specific abilities and functioning, physical, intellectual, or behavioral. So there are uh, different from this established normal or typical qualities. So people are described as exceptional may deviate higher or lower from the norm. So a child who has superior intellectual can be classified as exceptional. So kung sobraan po siya ka-bright, or bright na jud kayo siya, or super genius siya, so that's the term, pwede ta mo gamit og exceptionality. So a child who has superior intellectual, pwede siya ma-classified as exceptional. In the same manner, children with disabilities, physical, mental, emotional, or pwede po siya mo gamit ta og exceptional. So exceptional, reminder, exceptionality describes how some individuals' abilities deviate or positively or negatively from the normal standard set of the society. So, kung unsa to atong naandan, tas dili siya mo atong at dili siya ang normal state or normal nga naandan nato or nakita nato sa society, that's what we called exceptionality. So, exceptionality may range from having extraordinary abilities, pwede siya gifted or katong mga talented, as in the realm of academics, arts, and music to recognize disabilities such as learning disabilities, katong dyslexia, dyscalculia. Ang dyslexia katong mabaliktad-baliktad gud iyang imbis ang iyang pananaw sa letter D, pananaw niya is letter B na. So yun na ang dyslexia. And developmental delays, intellectual disabilities, and autism katong mga autistic good nga mga bata. Emotional and behavioral disorders, communication disorders katong stuttering, katong mag-anak good ang iyang inistoryahan. Hearing disabilities, dili kadungog, visual impairments, lack of loss or vision and blindness, and physical disabilities katong orthopedic, katong mga pungkol, impairment, traumatic, and brain injury, kato siya. The concept of non-exceptionality is also used to differentiate between the exceptional ones and those who are considered normal or non-exceptional. So labels and status of the exceptional. We have here the concept of exceptionality and non-exceptionality are also constructions of culture and society. So this means that ang society that sets the definition and standards or criteria in determining who is exceptional and who is not. So meaning, ang society ang nag-set of label kung kinsa ang pwede na tumatawag nga exceptional or dili na tumatawag nga exceptional. Labels are just used in order for societal members to have grasp in different types of exceptionalities. Like terms like gifted, talented, deaf, blind, and dyslexic are only some of the labels used by the people to refer to individuals possessing characteristics or ability of the exceptional. So, what do you think? What are the labels and other people's used to refer to having exceptional abilities? How do you think the labels affect the given in the lives in general? So, kung sige daw, kung tawagon kag kanang buta, tawag kag bungol, kanang yaga-yaga gani yung mura man kag monggol oy. So yun ana siya ba? That's the labels nga ginagamit nato sa society and naanda nato siya pero actually dili siya dapat siya nato gamiton terms because it might hurt them, and the worst thing that could happen to them is it may lead to traumatic. So yun na siya. Char. Ano siya. So, a repercussion of using labels is greater chance of stereotyping, stigmatization, and discrimination. So, usually, kanang ako sa unang ginatawag ko nilang bungi. Kay bungi. Bungi daw ko. Pero actually, nagbungi jud ko pero natahi man siya. So, yun, ana siya ba? It used as discrimination siya. So, it might depende siya sa tao kung dili siya kakuan sa iyahang exceptionality. So possible it can cause traumatic depression sa iyahang self. So nga na atong likayan. So labels may only seem to be harmless. Names, nevertheless, people still can attach connotations of different and varied meanings to them. Stereotypes or oversimplified assumptions may be formed to describe a group of people having the same label. For example, all children with autism may be stereotyped as mentally challenged. Diba? Usually, itong makuha na siya. Where in fact, there are other cases of autism where some children have physical ability in which they excel, superior memory, and superior skills in art or music. So, mauna itong ginaingon. Dili tanang autism is mentally challenged sila. Napo yung mga autistic nga mga bata or mga tao nga they excel. Grabe, superior memory sila, tapos superior skills, nagaano sila, autism sila, they are kanang diagnosed as autism, as having autism, pero how sila mag-drawing, how sila mag-kanta, how sila, inaana siya ba, artist, naga-excel sila in skills in art or music. So, dili sila tanan mentally challenged. So, labels can also determine one's social status in society. Some labels about exceptionalities are socially acceptable that can even merit a high status in society, while some are stigmatized and met with the perception having lower social status. Kato siya. Ingon, a child with a superior intellectual quotient may be labeled as genius and prodigy and may be well accepted in the society because his perceived positive exceptionalities, that is having superior mental ability, katong genius sila, bright kay sila. Pero on the other hand, a kid who's labeled mentally retarded may be viewed as negatively societal members affecting his status in the society. So yun ang society, ang dala sa society sa atua. So when these labels are attached with stigmas and stereotypes, people having such labels may be discriminated in the society. So prone sila sa discrimination pag yun low level ilahang type sa kanang katong label nga gihatag sa society sa ilaha. Unless lang og katong bright kay ka, so yun siya. Taas ang tanaw sa tao sa imuha. Pero let us take in the individual who has autism as an example. When an individual who has autism decided to work in restaurants or coffee shops and as a waiter or barista, do you think all restaurant coffee shops owners will react positively to him? Diba? It is possible that other employees will immediately disregard him. Diba? Dili siya dawaton because of his autistic problem, because he's mentally challenged siya, because of what the society has labeled sa iyaha. So possible maapektuhan ang iyahang way of living. So as a result, the disabled individual may not even have that much of the chance even with the start. Diba kasagaran ginakulong na lang sa balay, worse pa sa uban ginahiktan na lang para mulaag man magsige dagan-dagan sa gawas. Yan ba? So yun ang mga mahitabo. However, dapat we do not discount the possibility that other employees may accept him as a worker, especially in shops or stores that programs differently able. So naman goy uban nga they can able to do particular things nga na normal people na ang normal people mahimo gyapon na makahimo ana. So pwede gyapon na sila mahimo. So the possibility of stereotypes or stigmas and discrimination against sectional people may be promoted by labels attributed to them. However, we cannot still deny that such labels still have the significance since they establish who needs for their care and attention in society. Diba? Usually, itong mga tao nga namin usually sila itong mga mas need of attention and care sa society. Whether gifted or disabled, society must ensure the exceptional people will receive benefits from individualized assistance. Kaya na mga laws nga gi-implement diri sa Philippines. Support, accommodations, and in schools, community settings in order to advance their developments. So naay mga programs or projects ang government especially in the Department of Education. So ginadawat nga po na sa time na ako sa grade 6 I am into special education class section kasi kaya naami classmate na amang, so therefore among teacher mag-adjust siya. So naay mga yun nga mga programs nga gina-implement ang Department of Education para ma-feel po nila na they are normal. Bisan pag ingon sila, they are still have the right to live normally with the same persons nga normal ang situation. So inana siya. In addition, laws and legislations that support their acceptance and inclusion to their society are essential. So dapat siya naa. So, the establishment of organization that cater to the needs of section must be a priority. So, kani siya, si Esther Viger is a retired famous wheelchair tennis player from the Netherlands, di ba? Bisan pag ka nang iya kahimtang, nag-excel gyapon siya in field of sports which is tennis. So, that's for lesson 4. See you in lesson 5.